get above average results by running on autopilot. You don't do that. While the World Bank acknowledges that many countries have returned to pre-pandemic employment levels in the region, we have gone a step further. We have returned to the lowest levels since the 2008 global recession. We are now launching a new notice of vacancy unit at the Department of Labor, which will ensure that the law and policy are enforced. Our people rely on their government to protect them, and this unit will step in to ensure that in instances when an employer hires a non-Bahamian, a Bahamian understudy is identified and is actively being trained. The speech from the throne is not about novelty, it's about vision. And if we have repeated anything, it is because there is consistency in vision that drives our actions. We launched housing initiatives now we will expand on the way that was done. We hired new police officers and launched saturation patrols throughout the island. And now we're expanding our efforts. We trained one cohort of the National Youth Guard, and now we'll train another. 2 years wasn't enough. It's enough to account for years of needed reforms, modernization, and progressive change across many areas of government and society. Over the next 3 years, we'll continue to build on the progress we have made with full assurance that the Bahamas we will have at the end of our term will be a far more prosperous, healthy, and secure nation compared to the Bahamas that we met in September 2021. Thank you.
The Office of the Prime Minister Press Office is the primary liaison between the Fourth Estate and the Office of the Prime Minister and Cabinet.
Every day, we are working to build a more inclusive economy and a stronger, safer country.
Hear all of the latest developments as the Davis administration carries out the broad mandate of progress and change. Our live weekly press briefings provide full access to current newsmakers on the most topical issues of the day. We facilitate prompt responses from cabinet ministers on the latest reports and get answers on the issues that matter to you.
Will any penalties be levied against the
OPM Press Now, keeping you in the know.
Good morning to everyone, including the press, those who have joined us via the live stream, and here in person. I would like to welcome you to OPM's weekly press briefing. I'm Natalia Clark, and we do have an exciting lineup for you today, and we do hope that you enjoy what we have in store for you. Without further ado, I'm going to now invite Acting Press Secretary Keishla Adderley to introduce our guests.
Thank you, Natalia. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all, as always. Well, this morning we are looking to announce the establishment of a new commission, which is intended to take a deep dive into the operations of the Immigration Department. The Immigration Commission has been given a mandate in line with the Davis administration's priority, which is to ensure that all aspects of the Immigration Department are in line with all of the laws, policies, and procedures that they should be in line with and are seen to be so by the public. This morning, we welcome the chair of the commission, Alexandra Hall, accompanied by members of the commission, Mr. Bush Scavella, who is a former Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and former Education Director, Mr. Marcellus Taylor. Also this morning, we are going to talk about what is in the business pipeline as we near the end of the year. There are many important benchmarks that we reflect on and look forward to in the year ahead. To talk about some of those businesses are in the pipeline and the health of investments here in the country, we'd also like to welcome the Director of Investments here at the Office of the Prime Minister, Felicia Woods-Hannah, who will give us an update. And this morning as well, we are entering the festive season, which in the Bahamas increasingly includes Thanksgiving and those Thanksgiving dinners. This morning, we welcome officials from the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation, BAIC. They are partnering with Bahamas Striping Group of companies to feed some 10,000 less fortunate Bahamians this year. And they're using the produce and spices and all of the resources of local farmers and producers to accomplish that mission. They'll explain to you just how all of that will come together. But we will start things off with the Immigration Commission. But first, Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, on the work of this commission.
Well, you know, the issue of immigration has besetted the Bahamas for quite a number of years with challenges. And the time has come for us to review all of the processes and procedures in place to determine whether they need to be tweaked in any way. Also, the mandate of the Commission would be to review the present and existing protocols and procedures that attend to decision-making in the Immigration Department. Secondly, to look at the manner in which discretions are being exercised by the various levels in that department. As you may be aware, or many persons might be aware, there are a number of discretionary decisions that are made in the Immigration Department, from the immigration officer that is going to decide whether to land a person or not, right up to the decision making whether a work permit should be granted, whether a status should be granted. Those and the factors that are taken into account for the exercise of the discretion. In addition, we do feel that the time has come for us to review all of the legislation that attend to immigration matters to ensure that it's modernized, and we want some recommendations from this commission to assist us in that endeavor, and more importantly, to continually to update and report to the minister on matters that they think need to be brought to his attention for quick action and or reaction.
Immigration Commission, Ms. Alexandra Hall.
Good morning, everyone. And as has been indicated before, we are just having been appointed, and so this is just an introductory session where you get to meet myself and the other two members of the commission, and we outline at a very high level what our mandate is going forward. As the Prime Minister indicated, one of our first requirements is that we're going to review the current processes. Immigration is one of those matters that touches all of us, whether or not we have somebody who we are employing or we have a family member who's had to be naturalized or friends. We realize it impacts every aspect of the society. One of the wonderful things about those of us who have been appointed members of the committee, we have lots of experience. Myself as an attorney, in terms of industry, we have the former Director of Education and Mr. Scavallo, who most of you would be familiar with from his time at the Royal Bahamas Defence Force, and in terms of enforcement. During this process, we're hoping to go in and meet persons in the Department of Immigration so we can see the current policies that are in place and make recommendations. Even though everybody's anxious for us to get a report done as soon as possible, amongst ourselves we've discussed that it's important to get it done properly. So it's going to take a significant amount of time, and we will be reviewing and reporting to the Minister on a regular basis in terms of things going forward. And to the Prime Minister's point in terms of modernization, we all know from our personal experiences that there are issues with the Immigration Act as drafted because there are gaps. And then also in terms of expanding the labor pool, one of the conversations that those of us in industry always say is that we need to attract different kinds of persons coming into the Bahamas for making skill sets and the like, and we can look at what is happening in other countries in terms of determining how we can modernize our legislation to make the Bahamas an attractive place for persons who want to move here to build our labor pool, which increase our tax base, which is a conversation that we always have, but also benefit the country and improve it. So thank you very much.
Any questions for Ms. Hall?
Morning, Dorothy from our news. I know you mentioned about, individuals wanting a report to be done as soon as possible, but the commission wants to do it right. With that being said, though, is there an estimated timeline when we can expect some sort of report or something to be done, just say what the findings were? Could that be a year? Could that be 6 months? I think the concern is sometimes commissions are formed and other inquiring groups are formed, and it takes long to get something out of it, or nothing comes out at all. So I guess in addition to that, what will you say as the chair that will make this different from what we've seen in the past?
Well, first of all, we are only a committee, and we are not the government, so we can only make recommendations. So even if any recommendations we made, it will be up to the government to determine whether or not they can act on it. And that is one of those expectations we need to manage from the beginning. We will make as many recommendations as we think is appropriate, but it will be finally up to the government as to whether or not they will implement them. And I am that person who always says that these committees are always appointed and reports aren't done. So I do understand that being a concern. Of course, we haven't gotten into the Department of Immigration yet, so we can't say what we're going to find in order to say how long it's going to take. The only thing we're going to do is say we are going to update the minister regularly. Ideally, we are now at the end of October. Hopefully, we'll be able to give some preliminary update to the minister before the end of the year in terms of our preliminary findings. But you're talking about looking at processes, changing processes, amending legislation. This isn't work that's going to be done quickly. And I think all of us have to acknowledge that this is going to be a very heavy lift. It is going to be a very long process. And the only thing we can commit to do is update people as regularly as possible. Anything more than that would be impossible for me to say at the moment.
For clarity, are you able to say if the recommendations, I know you said you will make those to the minister, will they be made public as well, or?
That would be for the minister to determine.
Morning, just to
Good morning.
establish the scope of this, the report of the commission. Will this commission be exploring, the questions surrounding ministers giving instructions to senior officials and directors, particularly the checks and balances in the instances of doing things in the national interest? If there's a matter of the senior officials saying this instructions or these, what they're asking to be done may be inappropriate, will this commission look to that?
We won't go into any specific matters, but I can actually read to you what our remit is so you can know exactly what we'll be dealing with. So it's the review of the current process. It is the confidentiality protocols. It is the evaluation of discretionary practices. It is stakeholder perspectives, so persons like yourself you'll be liaising with. Recommendations of modernization, checks and balances, legislative considerations, and reporting. So we'll be looking at all of those aspects. In terms of any specific instance, we may not go into it, but in terms of the broad scope of what's happening in these departments, we'll look into and changing it.
Is this commission expected to be continuous, or after you've met that particular mandate, is the commission then disbanded?
Our mandate is, as I've read it, if the government chooses to expand our scope and our action after we've satisfied these, that would be up for the government. But at the moment, this is our mandate, which can, particularly when you're talking about legislative concerns, changing legislation here can take a very long time. So this is not a 6-week project. It is going to be a long time.
I remember the Minister for Labor had said that she wants to change the policy with regard to work permits, where persons who want work permits would have to apply to the Department of Labor beforehand, before they could actually get the work permit, or something of that nature, where she said that you have to have the understudy in place beforehand. I know there's nothing inside the Immigration Act or the Employment Act that speaks to that. Wouldn't that come into conflict with the Immigration Act?
Actually, that's one of the wonderful things about persons like myself being appointed to this commission, because from my practice, I can tell you, existing policy is you have to get a labor certificate. I have heard some of the information coming out of the Department of Labor in terms of them changing the current policy for the issue of the vacancy certificate, but there are certain policies in place. And one of the discussions we've had in terms of the committee, it may be important for us to encourage persons in the Department of Labor and the Department of Immigration to advise the public of what's in place, because a lot of times we don't know what the requirements are for work permits that already exist, that businesses have to meet, and people think, oh, we should put X, Y, and Z in place. But those of us in industry know they are already in place and our clients already have to satisfy them. So that is one of those things that we're going to address, yes.
So are you saying that people have been breaking the law all this time beforehand?
So the remit of my committee is this, and I am not going to speak outside of that.
Do you expect more cooperation from folks within the immigration department?
I'm sure that everybody is going to cooperate because this is a matter that impacts all of us. And then a lot of us think of it only in terms of the work permit or the lower level work permit. But like I said, some of my dearest friends had to be naturalized as citizens of the Bahamas, and it took 20 years for their applications to be done. That will also fall part of the immigration process. So we're going to review all of this. So I'm sure, as we know, the work of this committee will help the Bahamas be a better country. I am sure everybody is going to cooperate with us moving forward.
Is it a commission of 3?
These are the commissioners currently, yes. If there are no other questions, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hall. Before we move on to our second guest, I just want to make this announcement or give this update, which is unrelated to the work of the commission, by the way. But a ring of sorts has been uncovered by officials of the Immigration Department. It's alleged that immigration officers were involved in the sale of extensions. In other words, they were being paid to secure longer stays in the Bahamas here for persons who entered the country as tourists, and that is presumably to allow them to work here without going through the proper protocols and channels. Now, obviously, the Immigration Department is disappointed at this action, which allegedly took place, but the hope is that the prosecution of individuals involved in this ring will deter others from doing the same. Right now, we're going to welcome our Director of Investments, Ms. Felicia Woods-Hanna, with what's in the pipeline in the investments arena. Ms. Hanna?
Good morning. My name is Felicia Woods-Hanna. I'm the Director of Investments for the Bahamas Investment Authority. This is my first briefing with you, so I'll make sure that my remarks are very short so that you can have time to ask me whatever it is you so desire. The Bahamas Investment Authority is pleased to announce that there have been a number of advancements within the BIA in terms of developing human capital, digitization, and revamping of the existing legislations and policies, or proposing such initiatives. The first is digitization of BIA. We are undergoing a process to completely digitize BIA. We hope that as of December of 2023, we can stop the hard copies of the International Persons Landholding Act applications. What this does is cut down the time from about 2 months for processing of investment board applications to about a week and a half, which is a great win for the facilitation department of the BIA. We have opened our USD and BSD accounts at the Bahamas Investment Authority. With that, we are now able to accept payments. The old process, you took an approval letter to the Inland Revenue and you had to get a receipt and bring it back to BIA for issuance of an investment board permit or an investment board certificate of registration. That process has since changed to allow for greater efficiency in the processing of applications, as well as, being more paperless and more energy efficient, I guess we can say. As it relates to the National Investment Policy, the National Investment Policy was introduced in 1994. We are looking to revamp the National Investment Policy, so we're undergoing stakeholder consultations with all of the professional services bodies. We are currently, as we speak, having our first consultation with the financial services industry to see how we can cut down the turnaround time for financial services related applications as well as we're looking at the local capacity. We're trying to get an assessment of what local capacity exists within the country so that we can review the sectors that are under the national investment policy reserved for Bahamians and possibly expand that listing of industries reserved for Bahamians. We're also looking to see how we can make the ease of doing business in our country a reality instead of a sexy language that we use on a frequent basis without action. So with that being said, that's the investment update, and I'm open for questions.
What about Bahamas Invest? The Deputy Prime Minister was promoted that about 2 years ago, and we haven't seen anything happen with it yet. Where is that?
Well, that's a part of the stakeholder consultations. You do not want to risk with a Bahamas introducing a new entity, no changes in the efficiency of the way we do business in the Bahamas. We're also looking to see what investment, the promotional arm, developing the promotional arm of the Bahamas Investment Authority. The national investment policy that establishes the BIA speaks to the BIA being a one-stop shop, but really and truly we need to make sure that functions as that. The transition to Bahamas Invest is to do that. However, we must make sure that the necessary policy and legislative reforms take place so that we don't risk a rebrand without the general public and the global stage seeing a change in the way the Bahamas do business. So it is an initiative. It is something that is a part of this process that we're undergoing with the digitization as well as the revamping of our policies and laws.
Any timeline on that?
On Bahamas Invest? Well, once this consultation is finished, we are hoping to do that to end the consultations within the first quarter of 2024. The purpose of the consultations is to make sure that we have a balance between the public sector and the private sector, and make sure that the piece of legislation and the national investment policy revamping all are a balanced approach to whatever is introduced.
Are there any particular investments that Bahamas is trying to attract?
Yes. So that's a part of the investment promotional strategy that we are currently reviewing as well. As you would know, our country is unique in being an archipelago, and with that being said, each island has its unique culture, and so the investment promotional strategy that we will introduce will have specialized areas for investment, and then within that those specialized areas, we'll have targeted areas for particular islands. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Woods-Hannah. Thank you very much. Well, we often talk about food, not just because we like to eat, but food security has been a very important issue of late. Today, we are happy to be joined by our guests from the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation, BAIC, along with their major partner, the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies. They have an initiative afoot to feed some 10,000 less fortunate Bahamians across the country, that is, for this Thanksgiving. And we see a sample of their produce here, and that is because they will be using, I believe, exclusively Bahamian produce and spices in the preparation of these 10,000 meals. So we're going to start things off with our representatives from BAIC, Mrs. Tanja Burrows and John Burrows, on how this initiative will work.
Good morning, and once again, the Bahamas Agricultural Industrial Corporation, which is BAIC, I'm responsible for the processors, and one of the things that we encourage Bahamians to do is promote local products. We have a variety of amazing products that can be used in this initiative, and we seek to help to promote local products, jams, jellies, pepper sauce, to be added into this initiative of feeding 10,000 persons. This is an awesome opportunity for our local producers to be able to be a part of this. And so we look forward at BAIC to helping move this initiative forward. Is there any questions? Okay, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. John Burrows here from the Bahamas Agricultural Industrial Corporation. I coordinate marketing logistics for the corporation. In support of this project of feeding these 10,000 less fortunate Bahamians, we are now tasked with supplying as much produce as we can. As most are aware, our produce is seasonal. And so some staples, particularly for this time of year with Thanksgiving, being pumpkin and butternut squash are some of those items. Yellow squash are some of those items that we are looking at having in support of this project. And beyond that, food security is one of the main thrusts that the corporation is now embarking on. We are in the development stages of a crop calendar, a planting schedule, which will give more predictability, see where we have gaps in production with our producers and how we close those gaps. So for not only initiatives like this, but future ones, we're going to look on how we embark to support those projects through agriculture. And so we are in full support of this project, and we will be supplying as much locally grown, fresh produce as we can to feed our people.
Are there any questions, Mr. Burrows?
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Burrows. Well, now I'm going to ask Mr. Arterio Mitchell, president of the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, to come. He will discuss some of the logistics that will go along with this massive undertaking.
Good morning, everybody. This initiative, Let's Make a Difference, speaks to our company philosophy in giving back and being a part of the community. Our involvement in this initiative is to spearhead the organizing of the resources, the donations, shipping, cooking, and distribution of the meals on Thanksgiving Day. Our intent is to not create anything new, but work with organizations like the Bahamas Feeding Network, Hands for Hunger, Great Commission, and Prophet Lawrence Roll, and other persons who have feeding programs going on this day, to enhance their program by giving them the products needed to produce the meals on Thanksgiving. The Let's Make a Difference program is set to touch the 17 of our major inhabited islands, from Bimini in the north to Mayagona in the south. Our objective is to provide 10,000 hot meals to Bahamians on Thanksgiving Day. At this time, I would like to thank our partners who have joined us in this initiative thus far. We will definitely be making a difference. I would also like to invite others to join us as we embark to make a difference in our country come November 23rd.
All right, I know a couple of the sponsors who are part of this project are here, including Chef Emmanuel Gibson. I invite him now to come and discuss maybe what's on the menu and his participation in this project.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Chef Emmanuel Gibson, and I'm really honored to be here today to really assist Bahamas Striping Group of Companies with such a great initiative. Just to say a few words on Dominic and the company, I've had many opportunities to work with them on a few initiatives, and trust me, this is what they believe in. When Arterio talks about that being a part of the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies mission, I'm here to vouch that, hey, working with the feeding of the kids in the schools, the breakfast program, just one, this is something that I think they truly believe in. And so today, I'm happy to be here with Manuel to support this and to make sure this initiative is successful. And when you look at the plans and how they approach it, I'm here to also say that the plan is a really good one, because being a chef, when you try to do 10,000 meals, that requires a lot of work, a lot of seasoning, a lot of preparation. But if you could break it down into smaller segments, right, and you get partners on who have the same objective and want the same results, you now can feed not even 10,000, you could feed 100,000. So we just need more support, more companies who want to come out and be able to help this initiative. So the foundation for the initiative is good. I approve of that. I know their heart. Like I say, this is coming from their heart. They're a giver. Also, too, when I was sitting on there looking at all for BAIC involvement, I think what a wonderful opportunity we as Bahamians have, where we can create new ideas for Thanksgiving rather than relying on the same cranberries for for a side, for garnishes for the turkey. We now have guava. We can use those same spices to enhance the guava to make chutneys for the turkey. We can use tamarind to make nice rub for the turkey. So there's a lot of ways we as Bahamians can come up with new recipes. So we should be giving out recipes and all along during this Thanksgiving. That's the kind of thinking. I'm forward thinking. I'm thinking how we should approach this, not just food, because when they eat the food, they have nothing left. So how do the farmers going to benefit from the product that they give? It's just going to be a waste. So let's make it long lasting. Let's make it tangible. Let's make it somewhere we can say, okay, we give them knowledge, not just food. We're giving them knowledge now how to produce different things. So when come next year, they're not going to go in the store and buy the cranberry. They're going to buy the guava. They're going to buy those things. So I think we should make it much more meaningful. The foundation already been set to do even more than 10,000. We just need more persons coming on board and supplying the products and dropping them off, so that at the end of the day, we have a lot that we can feed. And listen to the Prime Minister's speech as well. He talks about the Bahamas rebounding, and I think there's a lot. There are so many reasons that we can be thankful for, and so let's give thanks. Let's help people. Let's make our country proud. So that's me. The menu, I think the menu's the menu's up to the I don't know if we have any standard menu yet, but we don't want everybody's. So I don't know. You'll discuss the menu. All right. Good.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Frederica Starup, Vice President of Operations for Bahamas Striping Group of Companies. Just want to thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you for everyone who was involved and who will be getting involved after today. As you can imagine, supplying 10,000 meals is not a small feat in one day, so it takes quite a village to do this. I'm very thankful for persons who are participating. We have Hands of Hunger on deck, also the Bahamas Feeding Network. These two organizations, this is what they do. They feed people. This is what they specialize in. We also have the Kiwanis groups, a part of this, Rotary and pilot clubs, most of them based in Freeport, are going to be participating in this. And as the President mentioned earlier, this is not Nassau-centric. So we have Abaco, Andros, Bimini, Grand Bahama, Exuma. Also, if you're in Maguana, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rumkey, wherever you are, if you're willing and able to assist and you want to be a part of this, please reach out to us. We have also been able to secure some local partners. These include Sun Oil, Das Mechanical, Electrical Oven Solutions, CLG Contractors, Insurance Management, Aquinas College, Simplified Lending, EGL Contractors, Quick Fix Construction, 110 Miles Maintenance, Diamond Development and Construction, GSO Legal, the Cygnus Group, and Sandals Exuma. We've also been able to secure some international partners as well. Those being confirmed as of now are Seco Island Lines, Associated Asphalt, and Centuri Transport. At this time, I'd like to just highlight briefly some of the persons that are going to be involved in this. Chef Manny did a great job in introducing himself, so I don't need to go over that too much. But Chef Manny is going to prepare 500 meals for the Thanksgiving distribution. So we would invite any other chefs that may be interested, any other restaurants that may have the willingness and ability to join us and come on board as well, especially in the smaller islands. We also have Bahama that is on board for 1,000 meals, and Sandals Exuma for 500. So we still invite any other hotels and restaurants to be able to join this initiative, especially on the outer islands. We have a representative from Aquinas here, the Vice Principal, Leandra Kelly. Aquinas is participating in this by preparing 300 meals. So I think that is quite impressive. We also invite any other schools that have the willingness and ability to make a difference. If they have a home ec class, we invite you to step forward, give us a call, and let us know. We also are going to need some support from the mail boats because we're going to need to be shipping items throughout the islands. So please, if you're able, just give us a call, reach out to us.
On our Facebook page, we have the Let's Make a Difference page. We also have the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies Facebook page. We also have a GoFundMe page available as well for persons who are willing to donate cash funds. We need all hands on deck to make this a true success, and we would urge everyone to come together and let's make a difference. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Anton Seeley. I'm the Vice President and Director of Insurance Management. And very briefly, I'd just like to just say how pleased we are to be a part of this wonderful initiative by the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies and BAIC. When I was approached by Dominic and he gave me the full scope of what it was that he had envisioned, we felt it was a natural fit for us. We felt it was an opportunity for us to give back to the community, which has served us so well for the past 47 years. And as we know, food in this country it's quite a challenge for a lot of us. And this initiative to feed 10,000 Bahamians at this special time of the year, we thought it was something that we had no choice. We had to be a part of it, and so we're very grateful to Bahamas Striping Group of Companies for affording us the opportunity to participate, and we look forward to a very successful event, and we think that it's something that I think Chef Manny mentioned, that we could look to expand into the future because feeding food in the country, as I said, is a very expensive initiative, and there are a lot of our citizens who go hungry every day for the inability to afford a good quality meal, and so we feel that it's something that we can definitely get behind on a consistent, ongoing basis. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Leandra Kelly, the Vice Principal of Aquinas College. On behalf of our principal, Mrs. Shauna Knowles, we are certainly delighted to be a part of this initiative. We are extremely proud of our culinary arts program, and this gives us a chance to showcase the talent of our students. And so we are going to prepare 300 meals for the community. We would like to encourage all of our former alumni, our parents, students, any of the well-wishers of Aquinas to join us. There's lots of seasoning that's going to happen, lots of cleaning items, and so we need all hands on deck. The executive chairman of Bahamas Striping Group of Companies is a proud alumnus of Aquinas College, and so we definitely are delighted to partner with this initiative. So we thank Mr. Stirrup and all of our community partners. So we hope that this is not a one-time thing for Aquinas. We want to make this an annual contribution because we want to inculcate the attitude of gratitude for our students. It's important that they know that their role is to give back to their community. And so this is just our small way of doing that. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much to everybody who was involved in that initiative, a great initiative indeed. Are there further questions for any of our guests? Are there any further questions or any questions for me?
Ring that you spoke about earlier, do you have any detail about how much officers were involved or anything like that?
Well, the information is that 3 immigration officers were involved. I understand that it was expected that they would appear in court either today or tomorrow to face charges associated with those allegations. Hi, Berthany.
Yeah.
Hi, great.
Okay, do you have the cost associated with the travel to coronation?
I'm sorry, I don't. I'm still working on getting that for you. Also working on that for you. Any other questions? All right, well, we will move on to, I don't have ham and turkey. Another question? Okay, I don't have ham and turkey, but we do have representatives here from Bahamas Kavi Drinks. And perhaps they'd want to partner with this initiative as well, but we'll welcome them now to talk about their business.
Hi, good morning. My name is Elkin Bow. I am a 2019 Access Accelerators graduate from the Small Business Development Center, and I'm also the General Manager of Operations for the Bahamas Coffee. The Bahamas Coffee started in 2019. We were fortunate to be granted by the Small Business Development Center to start up an entrepreneur initiative, and it had moved into the beverages due to the demand that I found in the country that there weren't enough tropical beverages or enough unique products being pushed in the market in our own country. So since December 2019, the Bahamas Coffee drinks had been formulated under one particular drink flavor, which was the cucumber, and I have now over 38 flavors that have been brought into this particular drink menu. The significance behind the Bahamas Coffee drink is that it's all natural. One, we had looked at the lemonade perspective because it's actually one of our most abundant fruits in the country, the citrus. And also we looked at the ginger, which is instrumental, especially during the time of COVID, which a lot of customers had said was instrumental in helping them to fight off colds and flu, inflammation, sicknesses, and also to protect the lungs. Since then, the different fruits and vegetable tea flavors that have been added into the menu has made it even more compound and providing nutrients and anti-cancer, chemicals in the product itself, which has boosted immunity for the population. And these are drinks that I personally make and distribute on a daily basis. As well, I was fortunate enough to partner internationally with my girlfriend, who's from Colombia, and her family. They have a farm that has been so kind to allow us to purchase and to vend their family's coffee here in the Bahamas. So we're looking also as a small business to strengthen our international partnerships with the United States, with other South American countries, and to create a more dynamic environment and vendor and market for the Bahamas itself. Anyone have any questions?
Where can we find, where's it distributed?
Okay, the Bahamas Coffee is still a home-based business, so we are distributing to local vendors as well as local stores. We have the Bahamas Agriculture Industrial Corporation, who's one of our strong partners, and they have both of the coffee and the drink menus in their store locations as we speak. So it's just a day-to-day sales to the local community, as well as partnering with other food truck vendors, other store locations. We have one Rubus gas station. We have a location at the Quality Home Center, Prince Charles. And also we're partnering with other local vendors in the nearby area where it's vendored so that they can have more availability when it's not sold at its current time. Any other questions?
What's the feedback been like?
Well, it's been in circulation since July 2021, and I have never gotten a negative comment or feedback. A lot of customers have said during the time of COVID, it was one of the best vitamin C immunity boosters that had helped them who had tested negative to come back to being tested positive for COVID, to actually change their status without any serious grave illnesses due to the fact that they were constantly consuming the vitamin C, the ascorbic acid. They had the boost of the natural juices as well as the ginger that was included in the mix. So, and also I've had over 7 years working as a pharmacy technician. So this kind of brings my medical studies and into this grand adventure in creating products that are natural, fall in the line of being under the tropical beverages, and actually are very tasty. And I've brought samples for everyone to try today. Okay. All right, thank you.
What's the shelf life on the beverage?
Well, because the drinks themselves are all natural, I've actually tested these out. These currently have a very short shelf life. It's longer than milk, but it actually can stretch as far as 4 weeks. And the ingredients and everything's on the label, but the natural preservatives that are used in these are from the ascorbic acid and the vitamin C. So it's just a basic natural preservatives added in along with the actual fruits and some of the ingredients that make it as potent as it is. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Perfect time of the year for those vitamin C boosts and everything. Thank you very much. And of course, you're all invited to take a sample Well, if there are no further questions or inquiries, that brings our press conference to a close. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day.